Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. I want to say hello, welcome. My name is Kimberly Cato, and I am the founder and registered psychotherapist at True Roots Counseling Services, where we purpose to transform trauma into triumph. Um, my goal with this channel, I've written it all down so as to not mess it up. My goal for this channel is to share resources, insights, tips, tricks, found wisdom about a wide variety of subjects that um, that could really help us transform into the best version of ourselves. She's always doing that, my kitty. Always likes to ring her bell as soon as I start to talk. At any rate, I know that this sounds, I don't know, lofty or cheesy or, like some strange, weird thing a psychotherapist would say, but it really is my heart, my pure truth. I really do seek to find ways to develop and personally achieve better. I know it's Maya Angelou, my guide, who says, when we know better, we do better. And my quest has always been truth. It's always been to know. And the more I have sought tenaciously after truth, in spite of the fact that at times I've gone astray, I've 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 found my way somehow. And so with this channel, really and truly, my goal is to create a community of truth seekers, um, a community of people who will run after truth tenaciously. Now, what the subject matter might be may differ, um, and it will differ. I'm interested in primarily personal development, being a better version of me. And so, on that vein, oh, if you are yourself a truth seeker and you care to join me on my journey of self discovery and personal triumph, please do come to the private Facebook community that we've established. It's called Transforming Trauma into Triumph. And there we will pursue truth. We will pursue betterment. We'll pursue personal achievement. And we'll pursue transformation. Um, for today's episode, we're talking about, we're continuing to talk about or I promised myself I wouldn't call it that, SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder. We started talking about this last week, and we'll be doing this for the next 2 weeks. It's like she's goading me. um, so this week, we'll be talking about seasonal affective disorder and other causes of mood swings in men. Um, so like I said, throughout the month of September we'll be talking about this. So next month we're talking about seasonal affective disorder and other causes of mood swings in women, and then on the 29th we'll be wrapping up entirely the previous 3 weeks from the 29th, and just giving a general overview with more specific tips and strategies and remedies to deal with the potential mood swings given what is coming, and that is more darker period in the winter months. She's such a funny girl. So in the winter months, we already discussed in last week's episode all the details and particulars about seasonal affective disorder. I just want to recap. I don't want to delve right back into it because it was a pretty long episode. So go back and have a look. I'll leave a link to it below, and you can just have a look at that to cap up. But know that seasonal affective disorder is a type of depression that's related to changes in the season. And there's a biological link, the studies have proven, between our um, our mood and energy level is linked to the seasonal seasons of the year. And there is, in the darker months, in winter, fall and winter, um, because there isn't as much sun, we have lower levels of serotonin, the studies say. And as a result of that, because serotonin is a hormone that regulates and helps regulate our sleep, aggression, eating, sexual behavior, and mood. So, because the serotonin is decreased in the winter months, and our ability to regulate these five things is um, interrupted, becomes in some cases quite erratic. That's why we have mood swings, we have irritability, and all manner of things, up to and including suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts, and suicidal tendencies. So people have gone as far as actually attempting, and some have successfully suicided as a result of seasonal affective disorder. So it's a serious thing, um, which is why we're talking about it now in preparation for the darker months. So be forewarned. And make sure to be kind and check yourself. And know that if you're transitioning in terms of the way you feel, that it's something to be taken seriously. Now, this is something that affects everybody, men and women, differently, but it affects us all. And so, another thing that can affect men's mood and cause men specifically to swing in terms of their moods. I wonder if you can hear her. Little girl, stop making so much noise. Um, mood swings in men are primarily a symptom of andropause. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of andropause. It's related to menopause, but because menopause is identified with women, the name is somewhat different. But the symptoms are very similar, or can be. So, andropause, which is a primary symptom of, or pardon me, mood swings are a primary symptom of andropause. Um, it's irritability as a result of hormonal imbalances. And it's related especially to, or relevant especially to, men between the ages of 40 and 60. So if you're between the ages of 40 and 60, you find yourself highly irritable um, on a regular basis. Now, we all get irritated. We all get irritated on occasion. But if you find yourself irritable to the point of frustration on a regular basis, that's something you ought to take pause and think about. Um, Word to the wise, don't give the kitty catnip before you start to tape. At any rate, Irritable male syndrome is another way of identifying the andropause. And so, in irritable male syndrome or irritable male syndrome, IMS, is the term used to describe the mood swings in men. So, the mood swings are called IMS in the andropause. And its irritability in men is often a result of high stress cortisol and low testosterone levels. Pay attention to that. So, if you suddenly find yourself in a high stress situation, if suddenly, as a male, you are, um, say, laid off from work, increased responsibilities at home, bills and things becoming tight, money tense, you're feeling stressed, your cortisol levels are released and increased. And the cortisol then negatively impacts the testosterone. And between the two, between the cortisol going up and the testosterone going down, and the possibility of serotonin irregularities, you're looking at this IMS, this irritable male syndrome. And from that, the behaviors and characteristics of men with irritable men syndrome, IMS, are they can be angry, impatient, hostile, demanding, defensive, sad, dissatisfied, sarcastic, anxious, tense, argumentative, unloving, frustrated, and withdrawn. All very serious. You know, individually, they can be just like being irritable on occasion is normal. There's no problem with that. It's when these tendencies and behaviors become a regular way of being, when it becomes a regular part of your makeup, when you notice that you slip from being like ridiculously angry, aggressively angry 1 minute to suddenly really unsatisfied and sad, maybe even depressed the next. That swing and then swinging right back to the anger, that swing is the problem. When it's a consistent swing, the consistent irritability, the consistent anger and aggression, it's indicative of there being an underlying, potentially an underlying problem that you really ought to look at. Now, most men, I shouldn't say that, forgive me, many men find it really difficult to have a conversation about the fact that something isn't quite right, that something's different, something's changed. And they either hold it in, and their thoughts, if they have them, they hold in the thoughts of feeling like something isn't quite right, um, or they expel them. So either they internalize the intensity of these swings or they externalize it. Either way, it becomes bothersome. And really and truly, the issue is about a hormonal imbalance that can be regulated. And so the solution, I'm going to skip down to this other section here because yeah, you can't see this part, but it helps me to do this. Um, oh, and I'm going to actually increase this because I can't see it. Of course, I could put on the lenses, but we've made a way. So, the solution or treatment for irritable male syndrome, first off, is to know that yes, there's stigma and shame kind of attached to this hormonal imbalance, because up until this point, hormones and these sort of mood swings and erratic behavior is always attributed to women, particularly during their cycle, right? And so few men want to claim this as their own, as what they're feeling and what they're going through. And therein lies a bit of a problem because of the shame and stigma attached for them. They There's a bit of a barrier to, number one, admit that there is a problem, and number two, get help or seek it or tell somebody. Who are you going to talk to about this when you've already placed that barrier? So, my aim in doing this is to eradicate these barriers, to tear down the stigma, so that people can genuinely get the help without fear that they need. So, that being said, male hormone testing is the first step in determining the hormone levels. So we need a simple blood test to get the hormone levels tested so that we can identify what's in or out of balance. What do you have, or if you do have, you may be right. It may be everybody else. And then at least you'll know. Um, but it's good to know by getting this test. You could just get the simple blood test and check your testosterone levels, your serotonin levels, your cortisol levels, and make sure everything is functioning properly so that you can then genuinely fight against any erratic behavior or mood swings as a result of hormonal imbalance. So, after saying all that, the resulting evidence is that there's an opportunity if you feel consistently irritable, um, sometimes aggressively so, sometimes sad to the point of depression. Um, and if you're between the ages of 40 and 60, there are outliers who are a little younger and some are a little older. So if these are regular or consistent patterns of behavior or internal thought or feeling for you, my suggestion is to pop into your nearest doctor, a walk-in clinic, or um, naturopathic doctor and have your hormone levels tested and begin to work from there. Now, the question is, because some of these things, these traits and the way you might be feeling are very similar to the way you would feel if you had SAD. So if it was a seasonal affective disorder, some of the feelings could be the same as irritable male syndrome. So it really is a test to determine which of the two it is. The blood test helps, checking the season is, but as we discovered last week, it can happen with seasonal affective disorder also in the summer months. So the best bet is to step into the doctor and see what they have to say after getting your blood tested. Um, I think that's it for now. Please, by all means, I didn't even mention, but please do hit the like button or the subscribe button, like button. Please hit the subscribe button and stay in this environment with us, with me, as we learn and we grow and we continue to seek out truth. Also, don't forget, come to the Facebook page if you want to dig a little deeper and identify as a truth seeker. Come on over to Turning Trauma, Transforming Trauma into Triumph. And I think that's it. Stay tuned in October. We've got some great things happening in October that I'm really excited about, but I'm holding off on sharing until probably next week. Um, but I look forward to sharing with you when I do. So we will see you later. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. And please, please, if you identify with any of the things said, whether it be you yourself as a male recognizing some of the irritable male syndrome symptoms within you, please don't hesitate to get help. Help is always available. And there's an answer and a remedy to feeling irritable on a regular occasion. It's a good thing to feel like you're in right space in your body and your mind. We're all about transformation. So I encourage you, if this is you, get the help. And if this is your loved one, if you recognize some of these things in your partner or spouse, gently, gently guide them. I was about to say push them, but don't do that. Gently guide them in the right direction. Um, and women, stay tuned because it's our turn next week when we talk about other causes of mood swings for women next week in relation to seasonal affective disorder as well. All about getting ourselves aligned and in right space. So, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for joining me, for listening, for um, for coming to this table, and for giving me this opportunity to share the things that I'm learning and to seek truth. It really is encouraging. Thank you so very much. May you have a victorious day. Thank you so very much. Excuse me. You be well. Thank you. Bye now.